Why isn't that doing that? Oh, there's the time. Nobody's on, which is strange.
Yeah, that's because you just started it. Your mic on?
Doesn't. When I look at you and go like this.
What's the URL?
Ours HTTP.
No, for here. So he can go look at it, Shane.
TheMat.com, right?
Go to themat.com on the computer and see if the screen's up.
All right.
Your attention, please. Will the parents of Ryan Tucker, pardon me, will the parents of Ryan Tucker please come to the head table? The parents of Ryan Tucker, please come to the head table. Thank you. Gentlemen, man number 2, each of the following bouts, 3,000 and 3,001. It'll be Jack Wheeler from the Dallas Dynamite versus Ruby Yates up first. That's bout number 3,000. After that, after bout number 3,000 is completed, we'll go to bout number 3001. It'll be Skylar Petrie. Skylar Petrie versus Davion Jeffries of Collinsville. It'll be both on mat number 2, bout number 3,000 and 3001.
That's the first time I saw him take it. Reckless here too. I know.
Folks, here we go. The mats are made aside first, third,
We're rolling. Do you guys
seventh.
take a play?
The following
we're
is
good.
how it all
I got-
plays out this evening.
We're up to 23.
At number 6 and 7 will feature the 7th place bounce.
Great.
Mats 6 and 7 will feature the 7th place bounce. Mats 4 and 5. Mats 4 and 5 will feature the 5th place bounce. Mats 4 and 5 will feature the 5th place bounce. Mats 1 and 3 will feature the 3rd place bounce. Mats 1 and 3, the 3rd place bouts. And finally, mat 2 is where our championship bouts will be wrestled. Again, that's mat number 2. First place bouts on mat number 2.
No, I'm talking just right now.
Oh, I'm just listening. I'm not looking. Guys, we're ready.
First place here with the placing matches, Jason. Okay.
Just a bit of a programming note for competitors out there. Make sure you get your awards before you go shower, before you go change. Others should not be waiting for you in the awards area. Please make sure you take care of your awards duties first. If you know you're getting an award, that's where you need to be. Thank you.
Mueller, what color are you in?
Green.
Mueller's green.
38 red.
Okay, thanks. Good evening and welcome to the 2012 Cliff Keen USA Wrestling Preseason National Championships from here in Cedar Falls, Iowa, here at the University of Northern Iowa. I'm Shane Sparks. Glad to have you aboard. We begin at 106 pounds. It's Jack Mueller and Rudy Yates. Yates in the red ankle bands, Mueller in the green. Yates, a freshman. Brother Rice High School, Chicago, Illinois. Head coach in high school is Bill Wick. Brother Rice High School 3A. Yates was a runner-up in 7th grade, third a year ago as an 8th grader. Was 7-2, a match away from placing at the Super 32s. .115 remaining. Here in this first period, 2 takedown for Yates, up 2-0. Quickly popping to his feet as Mueller. Nice return there from Yates. Has that arm trapped. Good pressure on top. Hooking the near ankle as well. Edge of the mat as they wrestle with a minute left here in this first period. Mueller, a freshman from Trinity Christian Academy in Dallas, Texas. Folk-style national runner-up last April at 94 pounds. Yates and Mueller here at 106 pounds. Yates does a nice job to trap the arm. Has that tight waist. Mueller able to get to his feet. Let's see if he can establish hand control. Tries a neck wrench. Be huge for Yates if he's able to get that ride out. All those little situations we talk about in wrestling, of course, you want to get that takedown, but you want to ride him out. Yates looking for a tilt. Short time, 10 seconds. Now Yates drops to a single leg. I think that's good technique. Good mat awareness. Be aware of your position. Time on the clock. Good situational wrestling there by Yates. We'll restart with 8 seconds. All the battles within the battle. Here's one right here. Yates covers left side. And Rudy Yates, with a takedown and a ride-out, takes a 2-0 lead to the second period. Choice goes to Yates. He defers. Mueller takes a look at his corner. Kendall Cross in the corner of Mueller. And Mueller is going to go on bottom. Yates was tough on top in that first period. Critical here for Mueller. Weight back, hand control, and he has not been able to get hand control. Yates doing a nice job off the whistle to stop his first move. Yates tough on top. Mueller's been able to get to his feet. And out of bounds. 42 seconds left here in this second period. And with just a 1-minute period, not as much time to work with. And for Mueller trailing at 2-0, needs to find a way to get one. But Yates riding him tight. Yates able to control the wrists. Now he drops to a single. Now if you're Yates right here, want to go to an explosive finish. Mueller on his hips. Short time, 15 seconds. And Yates rides Mueller the entire 1 minute of the second period to maintain the 2-0 lead to the third after deferring after the first period. Yates will have the choice. And he's going to go on bottom. Mueller representing Dallas Dynamite. Big double overtime victory in the semis. 2-1 over Anthony Bosco of Team Overtime. For Yates, defeated Andrew Meerholtz of Team Overtime, doubled him up 6-3. Wrestling 2-minute first periods. Periods 2 and 3, just a minute apiece. So a 2-0 lead with just a minute in the second and third periods is so critical, and that takedown and ride out by Yates. That is going to be a tough mountain to climb for Mueller. Inside of 30 seconds, clock showing just 20 seconds. And Mueller, he'll need a turn to win this match. If nothing else, he'll need a turn to send it to sudden victory. Rudy Yates. Big takedown. That was enough. Rode that takedown to victory here at 106 pounds. Rudy Yates from Brother Rice High School in Chicago, Illinois. Your Cliff Keen USA Wrestling Preseason Nationals champion.
Jack Mueller.
Rudy Yates won. Yep. I'm good.
Remember, tonight we set the clocks back an hour. Don't miss out on time. Give yourself an extra hour's sleep so you're on time tomorrow.
You're looking at 113 pounds. It's Skylar Petrie and Davian Jeffries. Jeffries has the brace on his left knee. Jeffries, a sophomore from Collinsville High School in Oklahoma, wrestles for head coach Weston Harding. A year ago, 43-1 at 106-5A was Jeffries. Skylar Petrie from a WEM in Waterville, Minnesota. He's a junior. Wrestles for Adam Wrestler and Troy Stair. Petrie trying to turn the corner. Petrie was 5th as a freshman, a runner-up as a sophomore. That is in 2A. Dropped that final to Brady Berge. Back to our feet with 1 minute. Oklahoma State champion in Jeffries and a Minnesota State runner-up in Petrie. No score, 50 seconds here in this first period. Petrie wrestled in Fargo last July, 2-2 in freestyle. And in on the legs is Jeffries. Trying to keep his hips underneath and his back straight. But Jeffries doing a nice job pushing his head down. There's a quarter Nelson. A lot of pressure on the neck. Jeffries trying to base back up in a stalemate whistle with 28 ticks in this first period. Jeffries coming off a broken femur. Couple years back, All-American in freestyle as a cadet. And there's a takedown from Petrie. It happens inside of 15 seconds. Short time. Going to take a 2-0 lead as time expires here in the first period. Big time takedown, especially with these second and third periods being just a minute apiece. Choice goes to Jeffries. Believe he deferred. We're neutral here to begin the second. And expect Jeffries to pick up the pace. He's got to go. Nice shot there from Petrie in good position on a single leg, able to dump him down for 2 more. And Petrie leads it 4-0. Petrie really in the driver's seat. I really liked the wrestling there from Petrie. He's got to know that Jeffries down 2-0 is going to really pick up his pace, pick up the intensity, and Petrie took a nice shot of his own and most importantly able to finish. Now looking for a cradle, man. The pressure on Petrie. Potentially dangerous whistle. Our first champion was Rudy Yates of Illinois at 106. Petrie up on his toes, good pressure. Ball and chain. Final seconds in this second period. Takedown late in the first, another one early in the second, and Petrie rides a 4-0 lead to the third period. And Jeffries with choice, he's going to go on top and down 4-0. See if he's able to turn Petrie. Petrie defeated Cade Brock of the Cowboy Wrestling Club 3-2. And Jeffries, a 15-0 tech fall in the semis. And Jeffries has him tight looking for a pin, and he gets the fall. Davian Jeffries down 4-0, a pin, 21 seconds. Into this third period, he gets the stick. And the preseason national championship here at 113 pounds had that choice in the third. He went up top and down 4-0, a wise decision. Got that half Nelson, sunk it in tight, and gets the stick and the title. In the red. You guys are good. An all-Illinois final here at 120 pounds. In the red ankle band, he's got the black knee pads. It's Barlow McGee. He's a senior from Rock Island High School. And in the green ankle band, Steve Polakowski, a junior from Libertyville, Illinois. McGee at the Illinois State Tournament for Rock Island. That's two-way in Illinois. Was third as a sophomore, a runner-up as a junior. Fell to Johnny Jimenez of Marmion Academy. Wrestles for head coach Joel Stockwell. Polakowski, his high school coach Dale Eggers, and trains with Mike Poeta. Qualified last year as a sophomore. Libertyville is 3A. And training with Mike Poeta, said it's been great off-season training. On the board is McGee, 2-0. McGee tight waist and a wrist. Polakowski up to his feet. And McGee lets him go with an escape. 2-1, 1:13 remaining here in this first period. In Fargo, McGee in freestyle was 8th and All-American in Fargo last July. McGee, nice job on the head. Moving Polakowski's feet, already up 2-0, looking for another score as an underhook with the left. Polakowski with the left wrist of McGee, or the right wrist rather. 40 seconds. McGee and Polakowski here at 120 pounds. Collar tied, an elbow from McGee. 10 seconds, short time in the first. A nice takedown from McGee. Great setup. And finished that one inside of 10 seconds. Second takedown of the period, up 4-1. And one thing we've seen here, those short time points, especially in this 2-minute first period. McGee with choice, he'll defer, and Polakowski will go on bottom. Slick knee pick there for McGee for that second takedown. Polakowski in the semifinals, a 7-4 decision as he's cut once again, now a 4-2 score. And for McGee, a 10-2 major in the semis to vault himself into this final at 120. McGee with that underhook on the legs once again. And no takedown, back to the center, 39 seconds. Quick jog back to the center for McGee. Polakowski looking for a takedown to put himself right back in this one. Final 10 ticks here in the second. On the strength of 2 first period takedowns, McGee 4-2 to the third. And no surprise here, McGee wants to stay on his feet. If you're Polakowski, no need to panic. You need a takedown, but there's a shot from Polakowski, not a very good angle. And McGee behind him trying to bring him down to the mat. Good hard return to make it 6-2. Polakowski gets the escape once again, 6-3. Been impressed with McGee. He's just so slick. Polakowski just took that one shot. Didn't have any kind of a setup, just kind of dove in, straight on, no angle. And against a guy like McGee, was able to just spin around, get behind, bring him down to the mat. 20 seconds here for Polakowski. Needs something big. And if you're McGee, you stay center, circle. And here at 120 pounds, 3 takedowns, and the win for Barlow McGee from Rock Island High School in Illinois. Barlow McGee, your 120-pound Cliff Keen USA Wrestling Preseason National Champion. Expect a battle here at 126 pounds. Yellow singlet, Freddie Stronker from Bettendorf, Iowa. Sophomore Colton Adams, Scott Bluffs High School in Nebraska. He's a junior. Colton Adams, he's won here the past couple of years. Last year at 120. 2-time state champion is Adams. 39-3 a year ago and rose to the title at 126. As a freshman, won it at 112. Last year, a Folkstyle National champ at 126. Struck with a whizzer, trying to square up. And there's a takedown for Adams. .119 first period. Stronker wrestles for Dan Knight at Bettendorf. Stronker a year ago in 3A was a state runner-up. Fell to Philip Laux of, I believe Laux was from Iowa City West. Adams with a half and a spiral. 1 minute. Goes without saying, important here for Strunker to get one. Yates, our champion, at 106. Davian Jeffries at 113 was down 4-0 in the third period when he got a pin. And most recently, Barlow McGee from Rock Island High School captured the title at 120. Adams hit with stalling. Got to work up. We'll restart with 42 seconds.
I understand Ruby Yates from Illinois just won his bout in the championship of 106. Congratulations to Illinois' Ruby Yates.
Adams tough on top. 25 seconds away from the rideout. Right off the whistle, Adams goes to a hook. Done that the past couple of times. Goes again, spiral, comes up and hooks that near shoulder. Now to a half. And Adams takes a 2-0 lead of the second period. Choice goes to Stroker. He'll defer to Adams. And Colton will go on bottom. Adams, head coach at Scottsbluff High School there in Nebraska, Jimmy Miller. Took him 3 seconds to escape, up 3-0. Stroker picking his pace, nice shot. A lot of pressure and potentially dangerous whistled on the right knee of Adams. Another nice shot there from Stroker. Again, that same position. What great defense there from Adams, and Adams scores off a Stroker shot and leads it now 5-0. Gets that takedown with about 12 seconds left. And Adams in control, up 5-0 to the third. First period takedown, got an escape and a takedown in the second.
113-pounders to awards, please. 113-pounders to awards, please.
Starting neutral. Stroker got to be thinking about a throw. Needs something big, down 5-0. Adams doing a nice job just maintaining position center of the mat. Second stalling called on Adams. That's a point to Stroker to make it 5-1, but only 27 seconds. With the 2-1-1 format, that first period is huge, especially if you get a takedown and a rideout. Much bigger hole than that 2-0 score indicates. Colton Adams, no stranger to the top of the podium here at these preseason national championships. And he's going to do it again. This year at 126 pounds, 5-1 decision. Adams over Stroker. And Colton Adams from Nebraska, the junior, is your 2012 Cliff Keen USA Wrestling Preseason National Champion.
Outstanding wrestler award for 2012. Who wouldn't want to take home this beautiful golden trophy? Coming up next, it's bout number 3309. Bout number 3309, Dorian Spradlin. Former Northeastern boy, now Florida. Wrestling for the Braves Wrestling Club. He'll take on Kane McKenna of Team Helena. Dorian Spradlin.
Here at 132 pounds, Iowa and Illinois collide. Logan Ryan from Bettendorf, Iowa, junior. He's in the black and yellow singlet, red ankle band. And George Fisher, Marmion Academy in Illinois, a senior. Ryan was fifth a year ago as a sophomore at the Iowa State Tournament for Bettendorf. That is 3A. Also placed as a freshman. Fisher qualified as a freshman, was a state champion as a sophomore, and a year ago at 126, a runner-up. Back to the center, 126, no score here with Ryan and Fisher. Ryan, a year ago here at 132, finished 8th. He was the folk style junior champion at 132 last April. Fisher wrestled freestyle out in Fargo. There's a shot there from Ryan. Fisher has his left ankle. Ryan stays with it, has a single leg. Now reaching across for the far knee. Inside of a minute, 55 seconds. Ryan trying to bring him back inside the circle, out of real estate. Good defense there from Fisher, didn't give it up. Ryan's had a couple of good attacks. He's been in on the legs, but unable to finish.
Is the next bout that'll be up on mat number 2.
30 seconds. Dan Knight, head coach there at Bettendorf, and it's Ryan Cumby, the head coach at Marmion Academy. You know, Ed Giese from overtime in the corner for Fisher. High school practices will get underway these next couple of weeks for the majority of the country. Final seconds. Good first period, no score, but both these guys getting after it. Fighting for position, attacking. Scoreless first. Fisher will have choice. He'll go on bottom. Ryan with a claw and a spiral. Fisher trying to kick over. Fisher to his feet, hand fighting. Ryan maintains control, 40 seconds. And an escape for Fisher. He's on the board first, 23 seconds here in the second. These two with a scoreless first. See how they play it here in the final 20, how aggressive. Will they wrestle? Anybody willing to pull the trigger? Nice ankle pick there from Ryan. Inside of 10 seconds. Whizzer from Fisher. Oh, what a scramble as the period comes to a close. That was great wrestling the final 10 seconds. Ryan has been so close 2 or 3 times to scoring. A nice slick ankle pick, but good reaction from Fisher. Fisher showing some flexibility. Ryan will go on bottom, third period. Caution on Fisher. Fisher with a leg in. Applying a lot of pressure on top, controlling the wrists underneath. Ryan trying to shake him off. Situation here, if you're Fisher, you can give up 1, you can't give up 2. And looking for the reversal is Ryan. 20 seconds. Fisher's been so solid in this position. We've seen it a few times in this match. And 1 escape. We're tied at 1 with 11 seconds. It's been a fun match to watch here at 132 with Ryan and Fisher. These 2 guys wrestling tough. Final 10 seconds. Ryan's been aggressive in short time. But this one is going to go to sudden victory. Fisher in the semis, a 4-0 decision. Looking at Ryan in the semis, 3-2 decision to cement his name in this final. 1 minute, there's a shot from Fisher. It's like a figure 4 from Ryan. Fisher looking for a fall. Stalemate, 32 seconds. Ed Geezy from overtime having a word with the official at the head table. Scores table, I should say. Here we go, 32 seconds and sudden victory. Fisher with an escape in the second, Ryan with 1 in the third. Shot there from Ryan, not much of a setup, does a nice job though to reestablish position, gets right back to his feet. Good shot recovery, tries to shuck him by. Ryan picking up the pace. Final seconds, 3 seconds. Is Ryan able to finish? No points. Ryan's been the aggressor. Fisher will go on bottom in the first of the 2 30-second tiebreakers. Keep in mind, Fisher scoring the first point. That was that escape in the second. If it would go to a 30-second ride-out situation. Ryan gets a little bit high, and he escaped by Fisher. And that's going to be it. Different rules applying here for preseason nationals. So Fisher had the choice. He was able to get out, gets the escape, and gets it done. Nice match there with Ryan and Fisher. Good battle. Fisher able to edge out Ryan 2-1. What color are you? £138 pits Tanner Tremblay from Lake Crystal, Minnesota, senior, and Alex Mossing from Toledo Central Catholic in Ohio, a junior. Tremblay in the blue and white singlets. In the black and red is Mossing. Good scramble here early in this first period. Potentially dangerous whistled, 122 first period. A lot of pressure on the right knee of Mossing, and he is slow to get up. Last thing you want to see at any time, but especially before the start of a high school season, any kind of an injury. Tony Guerra, the head coach at Toledo Central Catholic. They attend to Mossing. Mossing was 7th as a freshman, 3rd a year ago. That's Division II in Ohio as a sophomore. Last year, a match away from placing was Mossing here at these preseason national championships. Of course, in Minnesota, you can wrestle in high school as a 7th grader. Tremblay qualified as an 8th grader, was 4th as a freshman, 5th as a sophomore, and stood atop the podium a year ago as a junior at 132 for Lake Crystal. Steve Wackel, head coach at Lake Crystal. Tremblay last year was 5th here at 132. Tremblay backed up to his feet. 2012 Cliff Keene USA Wrestling Preseason National Championships. Here from the Unidome, University of Northern Iowa, here in Cedar Falls. Of course, a big night for wrestling fans here in Iowa, and of course, at American University. 122 as the whistle blows. Good to see Tremblay back. Hopefully he's okay. Or Mossing, I should say. Some good scrambles between these two. They gave Mossing a takedown, leads it 2-0. Tremblay trying to elevate, but his ankle's tied up. Mossing with a 5-0 decision in the semis. And Tremblay 6-5. Tremblay looking to get at least one. Looked like a situation there where maybe he could have gotten an escape, but he went for a reversal. "27 seconds. Nice Granby there from Tremblay. Mossing stays right with him, followed up by another one. Both these guys like to scramble. Short time, 15 seconds. Tremblay trying to kick away for an escape. But time will run out in the first. Mossing 2-0 to the second. Tremblay deferred. Mossing will go on bottom. Switches sides. Goes to a half and a tight waist. Tremblay looking for some near fall. Got a 1 count. Did not get 2.
Next up, bout number 3112. Mat number 1, DJ Brazil. Regulators versus Brandon Bevel.
13 seconds.
Mat number 1, bout number 3112 for your third place match.
Tremblay looking for the ride out. Point saved, point earned. Trails at 2-0, so critical that he gets this ride out. Mossing Tremblay rather, a little bit early. Caution. Quick sit for Mossing. Mossing tight waist and a half. And that will end the second period. Mossing 2-0. Tremblay here with choice. He's going to go on bottom. And for Tremblay right here, you just got a minute to work with, so you got to escape quick. And now Tremblay's got to be careful. That's 2 cautions. Next one will cost him a point. Tremblay quickly to his feet. There's another attempted roll. Mossing able to stay right with him. Now Mossing to a single leg. Tremblay trying to kick away, and does so and gets the escape. He's got 30 seconds. Quick shove there by Tremblay. Mossing slow walk back to the center. Tremblay had that huge win in the semis. A nice low single comes up through the middle. Mossing has an ankle. See if Tremblay's able to find an angle. Mossing just clinging to a leg. Final seconds. And there is 2 takedown awarded with 1 second left. Tremblay rallies back. He trailed it 2-0 to start the period. Got an escape at 30 seconds to work with. Kept attacking. And he wins this one 3-2. Tanner Tremblay from Lake Crystal, Minnesota, the senior, rallies back to grab the title at 138 pounds. It's Illinois and Iowa here at 145 pounds. Garrett Sutton from Richmond Burton Community High School in Richmond, Illinois. He's a junior. He's in the red and black singlets. And Brandon Sorensen, Denver, Iowa. Three-time Division II Iowa State champion. Last year's only loss was to John Meeks. Sorensen bumped up a weight class to grab the state title. Sorensen was fifth here a year ago at 132. At Folkstyle Nationals, a runner-up last April. Sutton was a state qualifier as a freshman, was third a year ago as a sophomore at 138 for Richmond Burton. That's 2A in Minnesota. Sutton and Sorensen here at 145. 110 first period. Chris Krieger, head coach at Denver High School in Iowa. Coach Wojak at Richmond Burton. High schools in Richmond, Illinois. 50 seconds. And Sorensen close to scoring. Just got to explode. And he gets the score, 2-0. Sorensen up by 1, 2-1. 20 seconds. Sorensen, junior freestyle All-American in Fargo, placed 6th. Short time. And Sorensen takes a 2-1 lead to the second. Sorensen with a first period pin in the semis. And Sutton defeated Calwerts from Wisconsin. Sutton victory 1-2-0.
USA Wrestling Preseason Nationals presented by Cliff Keen. Continue the battle.
Sorensen with scrape on his right shoulder. Champion so far today was Yates at 106, Jeffries at 113, McGee at 120. Adams at 126, it was Fisher at 132, Tremblay at 138. Here at 145, it's Sutton and Sorensen. We're tied up at 2, 50 seconds. Preseason tournaments like this, pace especially important, although it's just 2-1-1. But want to come out quick, set the tone, throw the first punch, set the pace, stay on him. Get in his head, get to your positions, control the ties, move his feet. No need to hold anything back. Short time, inside of 10 seconds. We'll go 2-2 to the third. Sorensen with a choice will go on bottom. Sutton cuts him. Trails at 3-2. He's got 45 seconds to work with. Sorensen, this match is only takedown back in the first. Shot from Sorensen out of bounds. Great tournament. 5th annual USA Wrestling Preseason Nationals. Numbers continue to grow. At last check, I saw over 1,200 here in this high school division. Sorensen, he'll try to become a 4-time Iowa State champion. Sorensen maintains position, hand fights, and wins this one 3-2. Brandon Sorensen from Iowa, your preseason national champion at 145 pounds. $152 pounds, Dayton Racer, Apple Valley, Minnesota sophomore. And Chad Pike, a senior from Woodward Academy, College Park, Georgia. Racer was a runner-up at the Minnesota State Tournament in 3A for Apple Valley. And I believe he fell to the man he defeated earlier today in the semis to put himself in this final. Grant Nearing from St. Cloud Apollo beat him 3-0 earlier today in the semi. Pike, a Georgia State champion under head coach Pete Fritz. Last year at 138, he was 3rd as a sophomore, 5th as a freshman. And Pike will wrestle at North Carolina State. Pike with a high school record of 240-17. Last April, Racer was a folk style national champion as a cadet at 145. Racer wrestled here last year. It was late October, did not place. Obviously made some big improvements over the year. 50 seconds were scoreless here with Racer and Pike. 152-pound Cliff Keen USA Wrestling Preseason National Championship match. Pike with a single leg. Racer with a whizzer. Just 15 seconds. See if anybody's willing to take a risk. And Racer and Pike wrestle a scoreless first. Thanks for joining us, Shane Sparks, here inside the Unidome, and special guest joining us here in the broadcast, simply known as Silent H, Andy Rovat. Andy, always good to see you. What are you doing these days?
I'm working for Cliff Keen, and I'm coaching the Cliff Keen Wrestling Club at the Michigan Regional Training Center.
Want to ask you here early on in the season, a preseason tournament, when you look back at yourself as an athlete, now as a coach as well, what are the main keys of emphasis, the points of focus here early on?
Well, I mean, it's just see what you've learned and progressed through the summer and how that's going to transition into the new season. Because most of these guys, you know, they're wrestling all year now anyway, so this isn't really a preseason. You know, it's just before the high school season. You know, it's right after freestyle season. So these guys are just, you know, working on what they've been learning and seeing where they're at compared to the other national competition.
You, of course, big part of USA Wrestling in your career, and you look at this event, over 1,200 participants at last check, and you get to wrestle some of the best competition. Talk about your mindset as a wrestler, and again, you have a coaching perspective as well. You want to go out and wrestle competition. It's not necessarily about winning, it's about getting better. Big difference.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be focused on winning, especially at this tournament and at this level. You know, for the long run and for the future of your career, you know, you should be learning on how to score and, you know, taking risk. You know, if you want to learn single leg, you know, you just go do it. And if you don't get it, you'll figure out why throughout the season. You know, when states come and, you know, the most important things is a high school athlete, you know, you'll have that experience and finish.
Anything that you've noticed today watching the wrestling, anything that's really stood out to you?
You know, there's been a progression in the defense. There's not a lot of high school kids, you know, doing the junk defense where they're diving through the legs. You know, most of the top guys that I've been watching in the finals and, you know, the semis, you know, they've been using real solid defense and they're real hard to score on, you know, like that George Fisher and, you know, a couple other guys. But, you know, he just stuck out in mine. And that's great for USA Wrestling, you know, because as these guys progress through the rankings, you know, they're going to have an early start when they get to the senior level, the college level. And it all comes down. You know, these kids are watching Jordan Burroughs and, you know, the Jake Varners and Jake Herberts. You know, they know what they're doing, and they're not dumb. They pick it up and they mimic it. You know, it's the same way when I mimicked Dave Schultz and Bela Glazov and Fitzayev when I was a kid. You know, I used to watch them, and, you know, that's just how it works.
And a great Olympics for the USA Freestyle team. Brought home a few medals, and USA Wrestling back to, you know, being in a position where we're a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I think what Zeke's been doing, he's been doing a great job with the team and, you know, the way we're training and the way we're getting the coaches involved around the country and bringing the young kids in the country around. And that's the biggest part, you know, the Dakes of the world and even like Mark Hall, who's a freshman in high school. He spent all summer in Colorado Springs. And you know, my biggest thing is, you know, you bring those kids around and then they go tell their friends, whether it be college kids, you know, this is what they do in Colorado, or high school kids, this is what they do in Colorado. You know, this is what it takes to be the best.
Dayton Racer, big third period, was scoreless after 2, but Racer with an escape and a takedown. He wins it 3-0. The Apple Valley sophomore, your preseason national champion at 152. Next up at 160 pounds, Ryan Bleesey from Bismarck, North Dakota. He's a junior. And Bo Nickel from Allen, Texas. He too a junior. Last year a cadet Triple Crown winner. State champion at 145 as a sophomore, was 49-3. Was a runner-up as a sophomore in Texas, an 8th grade, a runner-up in New Mexico. And for Bleesey, two-time state champion, as Nickel on the board, 2-0, won it as a sophomore and freshman, was 5th as an 8th grader, 4th as a 7th grader. Nickel up 2-0 with 126. So what are some of the things going on up at Cliff Keenan, Michigan?
Well, the company, you know, we just signed this deal with USA Wrestling to help sponsor some of these tournaments and host them. And then with the wrestling club, we have a bunch of guys training, getting ready for the New York Athletic Club tournament next weekend.
How old were you when you started wrestling, Andy?
I was 5 years old. Just, you know, for the most part, I didn't do it too serious until I was a little older.
What was it about the sport that grabbed you, that sucked you in so tight?
I was asked this the other day, and I don't remember. I mean, it was 27 years ago, and it was just something that I loved, and I mean, I knew I just wanted to keep doing it, and you know, I never had my parents pushing me. You know, I was just, you know, always asking, can I do this, can I do that, and you know, they took me, and I just stuck with it.
Nickel 2-0, 46 seconds. Nickel a hammer. Saw him last year at the Cheesehead up in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Him and Jake Short of Simley, Minnesota had a great battle. Simley came out, or Short came out on top. And there's an escape by Bleasy, 2-1. Jerry Best, head coach there in Allen. Nickel won this tournament a year ago at 145. Short time, 15 seconds. And the clock ticks to 0 as the first period sees its conclusion, 2-1. What's got you most excited, Andy, when you look ahead to this upcoming college season?
That's a tough question. Right now, I'm focused on freestyle, but the college season, you know, this All-Star meet today in the near future, and maybe about an hour, that big match is coming up. That really got me excited.
Who do you got?
I'm keeping my predictions to myself, but it's going to be a great match.
When you look back to, you know, some of your epic matches when you knew it was going to be just a battle against a super tough kid, any matches that really stand out to you looking back?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of tough matches. I battled with Damian Hahn a lot, Victor Spada from Indiana, and then, you know, on the freestyle circuit, went with Mo Lawal, Clint Wattenberg. I mean, some of those matches were super hard, and I mean, you just got to know it's going to be a battle, and can't be afraid to go put up points.
What, anything special that you did in preparation for that kind of match when it was, they're all tough and you got to be focused for all of them, but some of those got a little bit extra juice?
Yeah, well, what I did, I mean, I would have to focus and keep calm, you know, because I never wrestled good when I was amped up and excited. So, you know, I started developing a routine for those big matches, you know, where I would just, you know, as I went to the match, I would just shake my coach's hand. I wouldn't slap it. I wouldn't let him slap me. And I was real calm, and, you know, I didn't let anything affect me. And, you know, it's kind of like how Ed Ruth is. And, you know, you see him, and you don't want to – sometimes when you get too excited, you don't see the openings. You don't see, you know, the ways you can score. You're just too fast and not focused. So really calming down a lot for me was a big step.
Nickel up 3-1, 45 seconds left. Nickel looking to add another preseason national championship to his mantle. Bleasy again able to escape, but to win this match, Bleasy's going to have to take down Nickel. Shot there from Bleasy, but caught underneath, straight on. Not much of a setup. "13 seconds. And Nickel hangs on. Hit was stalling, but he'll win it 3-2. Anybody that's really stood out to you in watching these finals?
Nickel earlier. I saw him wrestle the semifinal match, and I was really impressed with him. And then that George Fisher and the athlete he wrestled, that was a great match. And then I know Freddie Stroker and the wrestler who beat him. Those guys really had a good match, and that guy put a good match together and beat him pretty well. I was impressed.
Moving right along, up next, 170 pounds, Tyler Askey, Northgate High School in Newman, Georgia. And Zach Beard, a senior from Tuttle, Oklahoma. Beard in the green, in on the legs. Beard, a 3-time state champion, undefeated a year ago as a junior. He'll wrestle for Mark Branch at Wyoming. Askey, he's heading to Virginia. Wrestle for Coach Garland. He's a 3-time Georgia state champion, so a pair of 3-time state champions battling for the crown here at 170. Askey's career record, 152-0. Newman, Georgia, about 30 miles south of Atlanta. Head coach Adrian Anderson. Askey in Fargo last July, wrestled some freestyle, was 3-2. Beard in Fargo a couple years, captured a Cadet National Freestyle Championship. No score, 50 seconds remaining in this first period. What are you looking for here when you're watching this right now?
You know, just to see how they handle. There's not a lot of time in the match, so you know, you just want to see the guys who are going out there to score right away, because you have to score right away with how short the matches are, and then what I like to focus on a lot is, you know, see how good their defense is, and that's one of the hardest things to adapt at the highest level, is not let those guys get to your legs.
21 seconds, back to the center. With 2-1-1, this first period becomes so critical. You're able to get a takedown and a ride out. That's more like a 4-0 lead in a 2-2-2 match.
Oh, absolutely. And then with, you know, the 1 minute, you know, second and third period, you know, the escape right away is huge, because, you know, then you have to get back on that offense. And, you know, it's a little different wrestling strategy here compared to high school matches. But you have to adapt. And, you know, the best wrestlers will always adapt to the circumstances.
No score. Comes up green. Choice will go to Beard. And he'll go on bottom. In the semis, Beard a 9-3 decision. Askey, 3-0 decision. And Beard with an escape 1-0 right to the legs. Now trying to stack them up. And stalemate, 31 seconds. Like what Beard did there, got that escape, didn't waste any time, and got right back in on the shot.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, with the 1 minute, but you got to put yourself in that position, and you know, even if you do have to scramble, it's better that you're in on the leg, you know, than letting that guy in on you.
Beard pretty relentless, you know, really picking up the pace, and we've seen a few different shots in his arsenal. Hasn't been able to finish, but sooner or later, you keep wrestling that, he's going to finish.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you keep attacking and getting to the legs, you will finish it. And yeah, I can see him getting a takedown in the third period for sure.
With the escape in the second period, Beard up 1-0 now in the third. Askey will go on bottom. Toughest kid you ever wrestled in college?
Oh, Cale Sanderson. I mean, that's without a doubt. I've had to wrestle him a few times.
What do you appreciate more about him now that you've had a chance to, you know, more wrestling experiences at the highest level? Anything that you appreciate more about him now that you really look back, go, man, that was just crazy how good he was at that?
Yeah, I mean, you see people like Kyle Dake and David Taylor, and then some of the guys that are best right now, and Andrew Howe, and you see these guys, and they're losing matches, you know. I mean, Cale Sanderson was just just a special person. And I see how special like someone like Kyle Dake is. You know, I was able to spend all summer with him at the national team camps, and he's on another level. And Cale Sanderson wasn't even on that level. He was 3 levels above Kyle Dake, which it's just unbelievable.
Askey leading it 2-1. Believe it's the right knee they're tending to on Zach Beard. Been a really good match between these two. What impresses you most about Kyle Dake?
This summer it was you know how much he wants to win and how much he puts into winning. You know, I mean, he told me some stories and stuff that, you know, when he was a freshman, every day he wrote down in his journal, I'm going to be an NCAA champion. And every single day he did it, and he believed it every single day, and he went and he won it. Next year he did it twice a day. Next year he did it 3 times a day. That takes a commitment just to write in a journal 3 times a day. Most Americans can't do the same thing 3 times a day to save their lives. And this kid's writing in a journal saying he's going to be an NCAA champion, and this year he's doing it 4 times. So, I mean, he's not only just committed to writing in a journal, but, I mean, he believes what he's writing in there, and, you know, and he wants to do it bad, and, you know, and he's going to be a force to reckon with in freestyle, you know, right away. You know, Jordan Burroughs is a great wrestler, but Kyle Dake is, you know, just every bit as good as him.
And Beard kicks away inside of 15 seconds. We're tied up at 2. And Beard scored the first point, if I recall correctly, in the second period, so he'll have that choice. And I'd expect he'll go on bottom. Actually, they'll wrestle the 1 minute. Here, we got ahead of myself. The 1 minute sudden victory. Then if they don't score, then they'll go to the 30.
He's kind of backed off his attacks a little bit here in the last part of the match.
Askey with a nice shot, but Beard able to get his hips back. Oh, nice ankle pick. 30 seconds, potentially dangerous, whistled right there, and just kind of let up. Had a nice ankle pick, but didn't finish through it.
Yeah, and you'll see that a lot with the high school kids and the younger kids. You know, they won't, you know, it's really big to get that foot off the mat and get that height and elevation. And most of the high school kids, once they get there, they'll stay on the mat and try to, you know, and that's why you see a lot more scrambling on the mat, you know, instead of coming up to it and finishing high. So,
missed opportunity.
Yeah, a little bit. He had that match won right there.
Final 10 seconds in this sudden victory. And Beard and Askey remain locked up at 2 apiece. So Beard's got the choice. Wasting no time, he goes on bottom. "30 seconds. Askey looking for an escape and a win. Battle of 2 3-time state champions, and Beard gets the escape and the 3-2 decision. Match you'd expect with 2 3-time state champions. Good battle with those two.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, in the beginning part of the match, Beard was in on the legs a lot and couldn't score. Askey had great defense, but I think Beard was kind of discouraged a little bit. It looked like he stopped shooting towards the end. It wasn't because he was tired. And Askey, you know, started picking it up, and it went down to the coin toss, and, you know, Beard won and got out.
182 pounds. Miles Hammerland Delano, Minnesota. And Aaron Rothwell, he's from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Pair of seniors. Hammerlin in the red ankle band. Wrestles for Jeff Olson at Delano High School. Was a state runner-up a year ago at 170 pounds, two-way. Was fifth here a year ago. Rothwell was a runner-up last year here, lost to Taylor McGiffin of Illinois. Rothwell, a two-time Wisconsin State qualifier in Division I for Sheboygan North. And Rothwell is going to wrestle at Pitts. Rothwell coming off a 4-2 day at the Super 32. Rothwell, a couple years back, captured a Folkstyle national title. No score, a minute 5 into this final at 182. Hammerland undecided in his college plans. Rothwell 1-0 in the semis over Cameron Carlson of Team Overtime. And Hammerland 9-3 defeating XL Wrestling's Connor Larson. Can tell these two in this first period kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, these guys, you know, very opposite of that last match where they were just shooting that first period. But I'm expecting something to pick up. These guys are going to score some points towards the end of this match because I mean both of them want to win, and you know they don't want it to go down to the toss like it did that last match.
Couple Olympians in the corner for Hammerland and Jake Deichler and Brandon Paulson. And first period scoreless.
It's got to be a big confidence booster to have two Olympians in your corner.
Rothwell will start second period on bottom. And escapes 1-0, just 5 seconds in. So important to get that quick escape. Get out early. And in a match like this, especially scoring that first point, we've seen it tonight, how it's been critical.
Oh, absolutely. And especially in a match like this, get out and really push hard to get that takedown so you're up 3-0 going into third period. That's really big with these short periods.
Yeah, I mean, you can go for the kill in the second period.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, he should be looking to open up, especially maybe last 15 seconds. They both should really be sprinting for that takedown.
Nice double leg there from Rothwell. 15 seconds. Rothwell stays with it, gets the takedown, 3-0, and that was just a great double. Had his momentum coming in and able to finish.
Yeah, it was a great double. He switched off to a single and got the takedown right at the edge of the mat in perfect time, too. You know, you only have to ride for 11 seconds to stay up 3-0.
Big 11 seconds here. Hammerland got to find a way to get one. 3-0 to a third period with just 1 minute. Going to be an awfully tough hole to climb out of. And Rothwell is going to get the ride out. So Hammerland, he'll have choice in the third period. Not sure if there's 1 second left. They haven't reset the clock for the third period. There we go. Second period in the book. So in this third period, down 3-0. It's real simple. Get the escape, get in on the legs.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you can't look for a reversal. You can't look to, you know, have a scramble. The guy's on your legs. You got to kick out everything fast.
And if you're Rothwell right here, nothing easy. I mean, you got to ride him tough. Don't let him escape. Ride out. Get this win 3-0.
Yeah, ride out. You know, look for the legs when he's standing up. Drop down on that single. Return him back to the mat. Yeah, exactly. Right there.
In those positions, always just go back to the finish. He comes up. I mean, go right back to a finish. He's done that a couple times.
Yeah, and you know, you see more and more kids. I've seen a lot of kids here this weekend use that finish. You know, it's real popular in the college right now, and you know, it's a good finish. You know, because you're there, and you just grab the leg. I mean, you can't be lazy. You know, the bottom guy has to really fight and get his hips out, and some of these guys aren't doing that.
Rothwell, 20 seconds away, was a runner-up here a year ago. And looking for a title here in 2012, but Hammerlin now is giving himself a chance. He gets the escape. He's down by 2, but 15 seconds. He's got to go quick. And Rothwell right here to maintain good position, hand fight.
Yeah, there's a scramble right here. 8 seconds left. He's in.
Hammerlin goes for the desperation throw, gave himself a chance. But in the end, 5-1, Aaron Rothwell from Wisconsin. Cliff Keen, preseason national champion at 182. What's 19? Hang tight. One of the guys that have one. £195, Marcus Harrington. Believe he is from Iowa, and Jordan Ellingwood. He's from Plainfield Central in Illinois. Believe Ellingwood is in the team overtime red and black singlets. Ellingwood, a qualifier as a sophomore, was third as a junior for Plainfield Central. That's 3A in Illinois. Ellingwood was a folk-style national champion a couple years back. Defeated Bo Henson in the semi 6-0 for Harrington. Beat Nick Azowski from World Class Wrestling Club in Wisconsin 5-2. Slide by attempt. And Harrington with a takedown leads at 2-0, 40 seconds. And Ellingwood hits a roll and puts him to his back. He's going to get the reversal and near fall. What happened there?
I couldn't see from this angle, but it looked like he started with a switch and then just turned into him, and the guy on top had his hips high, and now he's on his back.
Don't see the roll work too often, but it worked there, and he gets the stick.
I think it worked mostly just because the guy in the blue had his hips up, and he was kind of off of him.
So a pin at 195. And believe that is Jordan Ellingwood, who's the national champion at 195. One more match as they previously wrestled the final at 285. Here we are at 220 pounds. Nathan Rose from Sibley East in Minnesota. And Nick Baronello, Riverdale Regional High School in New Jersey. Said he was out of power for a while, but family is okay. And, of course, we send our best to the people there on the West Coast affected by Hurricane Sandy. Can't imagine. The East Coast, rather. New Jersey, New York City, hit hard up along the coast as well. Baronello a state qualifier in New Jersey a year ago, won a couple of matches. He'll look to better that in this his senior campaign. For Rose, was a qualifier as a freshman, and the state champion a year ago as a sophomore, was 45-0 at Sibley East, that's single A. Also won the NHSCA national title a couple of times as both a freshman and a sophomore. Last week had a big win over Lance Bennick. Led that one 7-1. He hung on 9-8. It's at the Intermat JJ Classic. And Rose leads it here 2-0, 35 seconds, first period. Big thanks to Cliff Keene. Restart 11 seconds. Barinello's got to find a way to get one. Rose returns him and finishes the period on top, 2-0 to the second. You know, watch a lot of college wrestling this time of year, whether it's wrestle-offs or watching the new freshmen come in. What makes it so tough for those freshmen to get out from on bottom?
I don't know. I mean, that's the hardest thing. I mean, that's the toughest transition from high school to college. And if I knew the answer to that, I might be the best college coach in the country. I mean, it's just, you know, you just have to have that attitude, and you know, you can't feel sorry for yourself down there because you're down. But you know, it's just you figure it out, and as a freshman, you're learning on the fly. So it's tough.
Barinello trails it 4-0. And as he did in the first, Rose rides out Barinello to close the second, up 4-0 to the third. And a little bit surprised, Barinello going to go on bottom. Third period, he's down 4-0. Went on bottom, down 4-0. He's been rode hard. I just not exactly sure why he went on bottom.
But like I said earlier, it's preseason. I mean, you know, if he's having trouble getting out on the bottom, this is the time to figure it out and the time to, you know, evaluate yourself after this match to see what you need to work on.
Good point. 45 seconds left.
You know, with a minute left anyways in the third period, it's going to be hard for him to take him down, you know, 2-3 times or take him down and put him to his back. So I think that was a good decision, go down. And, you know, right here he's got a good position and hopefully get on the board and go from there. This is a perfect example where I was talking about earlier. He's got to get that foot off the mat. You know, a lot of young wrestlers don't pick that foot off the mat, and then they get in all these scrambles down there.
Final 10 seconds. Nathan Rose from Minnesota with a 4-0 decision over Barinello from New Jersey. 4-0 final. And Nathan Rose, your 220-pound preseason national champion. Andy, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shane. Now it's time to go watch Kyle Dake and David Taylor.
Andy Rovat is out of here. And that will conclude our broadcast. Congratulations to all our champions here today in these 2012 Cliff Keene Preseason National Championships. Have a great night. I'm Shane Sparks saying good night from Cedar Falls.